What are Prana, Tejas, and Ojas? They are the three vital essences that Ayurveda says that every woman needs. If you're suffering from brain fog, burnout, and you have that inability to take action, these are not signs that something is wrong with you. They're signs that your Ojas is depleted. And Ojas is our deepest vital essence, and it's the root of both Prana, that's your life force, and Tejas, that's your inner ability to have clarity of mind. And according to the ancient texts and David Frawley's landmark work, Yoga and Ayurveda, these three forces are not separate from each other. So Prana and Tejas, they live inside Ojas. They are Ojas, you could say, expressed, which means that you cannot think your way back to vitality. And while positive thinking is maybe useful, restoring your energy, your passion, and your physical health, it requires more concrete, consistent action and really embodying those habits, not just positive thinking or planning or intellectualizing the problem. So vitality is really, we could say, a whole body, in the body state of being. It is that positive aliveness that is built from the ground up through your daily intentional choices. You have to replenish yourself at the root. And that is exactly what I want to help you do today. Because what Ayurveda offers, it genuinely blows my mind still, every single time. And it's not just another thing to add to your already exhausting life. It offers us something far more profound. It offers us a map back to understanding ourselves more deeply and more truly. Mapping the terrain of these three specific vital essences, Ojas, Tejas, and Prana, it gives us that ultimate formula for us to understand holistic health by uniting the physical immunity with your metabolic fire and that vital energy. Prana is your life force. It's the very breath that animates life. Tejas is your inner fire. So that's the clarity, the discernment, the spark that makes you. Ojas is the deepest of all three. It provides us endurance, patience, our deepest immunity. And it's what we could say is that sap of life. And that brings us groundedness and prevents exhaustion. And it's that sacred root from which both Prana and Tejas are born. And it is your capacity to feel joy without effort. These are not concepts. They are not ancient abstractions. They are a living reality present right now in your physical and your subtle body. And once you truly understand them, not just this intellectually understanding them, but as something that you can feel, you'll never look back at your exhaustion, your fogginess, or that quiet longing for something more in the same way again. Because that longing, it has a name and it's the path back home. Stay with me. And by the end of this video, you will know which of these three is the most depleted in you right now and exactly how to begin calling it home again. Welcome, my loves. Welcome back here. I'm Amrita Mahadevi, Ayurvedic practitioner, holistic health embodiment coach, and the founder of the Sacred Vitality Collective, which is a space dedicated to this exact work, how to embody seasonal feminine-led healing that actually fits your real life. I've been living and breathing Ayurveda for the past 2 decades, inspired and encouraged by my husband, Igor Kofayev, and our community. I created this channel to share what this Ayurvedic science has genuinely transformed in my own life and in the lives of the beautiful men and women that I've had the honor of sharing this with. Now, you may already know about Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, the 3 doshas, the forces that govern your physical body. But as Ayurveda, the sister science to yoga, also teaches us about, is that each dosha has a more subtle form. It's the counterpart that lives not just in the body, but in the mind and in our energy field, in what the ancient texts call the subtle bodies. Vata's subtle form is prana, your life force, your breath, your vital movements. Pitta's subtle form is tejas, your inner fire, your clarity, your discernment, and your radiance. Kapha's subtle form is ojas, that deep, vital essence, your immunity, your groundedness, and your capacity to experience and live in joy. And here's the key, my loves. The same thing that throws your dosha out of balance, the stress, the overgiving, the disrupted sleep, the skipping meals, they deplete your subtle essence too. So when we're talking about burnout, it's not just this physical or gross layer that we're talking about. It's happening in your subtle body as well. And that's why rest alone is rarely enough to remedy it. You see, it's not only about your dosha. It's not primarily just your physical body that's affected and what you eat, though it matters deeply. This is about the 3 subtle, vital essences that sit beneath all of that. They're your deepest layer of your energy, your intelligence, and your nourishment. Prana, Tejas, and Ojas. Let's dive in. Before I explain what each of these essences is, I want to name something that I think many of you will recognize so deeply. And please comment in the chat below if you can relate. We live in a world that is extraordinarily demanding for us. And we're asked to produce and to perform and to be emotionally available all hours of the day, to lead our children, to show up for our work, to keep going, often without understanding and knowing how to receive any real nourishment for ourselves. And I think you'd agree with me, the result of that is this depletion that goes far deeper than just tiredness. It is a depletion that we can lose the will or the ability to enjoy our lives. If you notice that there's this feeling of just being scattered, like your mind is running and you can't quite land anywhere, like you have 10 tabs open and you can't find the one that matters the most. Let me know if this is your type of imbalance. Or perhaps you notice that there's just this feeling of being inflamed, very sharp, reactive to life. You get easily irritated. You're burning through yourself and sometimes through the people that you love the most. Let me know if you're type B in the comments below. Or maybe there's just this deep, hollow, bone-tired exhaustion that sleep doesn't seem to fix, that aches and says, I'm running on something that is almost gone. Let me know in the comments if you're type C. In Ayurveda, these 3 experiences, they're not random. They're signs that something is fundamentally depleted with these subtle essences within you. And they're signs that are specific to the vital essences that has become depleted. That scattered or ungroundedness, that is your prana, the life force, and it's calling for a return. If you feel inflamed and sharp, that's your tejas, your inner fire, and it's burning without direction. When you have that deep, hollow exhaustion, that's your ojas, that vital essence, and it's asking to be replenished. That deep, hollow exhaustion, that's your ojas, that vital essence that's asking to be replenished. And what is extraordinary, genuinely extraordinary, is that Ayurveda does not just name the problem, it gives us this complete living map for restoration. So let's go deeper. Prana is that life force, and it gets you excited about life when it's in abundance. It is that intelligence of movement itself, that force that animates your breath and every heartbeat, every thought that moves through your mind. And in Ayurvedic philosophy, prana is that what distinguishes living matter from dead. Without prana, there's no life. It's that simple and profound as that. Prana, it moves through your body in these 72,000 channels called the nadis, these subtle energetic pathways that underlie the modern physiology understanding known as your nervous system roots. It governs everything that flows. So your breath, the circulation, the movement of thought, and the quality of your sleep. And you may have encountered this prana through yoga practices. And yes, breath is one of the primary vehicles of prana, but prana is so much more than your breath. It is that what animates intelligence behind all movement in the body, in the mind, and in the spaces between your thoughts. And here's something that I genuinely am excited about, my loves, that modern neuroscience is beginning to confirm what Ayurveda has described for millennia, that your breath is the conscious internal breath, directs, regulates the autonomic nervous system. It shifts you from your sympathetic activation, that state of alarm and depletion, into the parasympathetic, which is your rest and digest nervous system. And so prana, the ancient Ayurvedic text said, is that bridge between your body and your mind. And modern science is now drawing the exact same map, just a different language. When your prana is depleted, you will recognize this as scatteredness, where you can't focus your mind. You sit down to work and there's just nothing there, or your thoughts spin off in 10 different directions at once, and no amount of effort can really help to gather them. Anxiety that lives in your chest, and the breath that's shallow or tight and held in your rib cage, is that nervous buzzing that you can't locate but can always feel. It's the disconnection from your body, as though you're living entirely from your neck upwards, a stranger in your own physical body. An exhaustion that is just restless. You feel tired but unable to settle. There's a depletion, but you're unable to switch off. So sensory overwhelm, like sounds, when they're too loud, too much, or too many people, too much everything. This is excessive. Prana is especially vulnerable in women who give generously to others without adequately replenishing themselves. And in the women who have carried grief, trauma, prolonged stress in their bodies, there is no shame in that, only the beauty of returning back to yourself. Let's look at how prana becomes depleted. Prana is consumed by fragmentation, where we excessively are talking, there's excessive screen time, multitasking, where you're splitting your attention into smaller and smaller pieces until nothing receives your whole self, where you are skipping meals, or maybe you're over detoxing, when your sleep is broken, or you just feel like you're suppressing the natural impulses, where you're holding back tears, pushing past your body's clear request to stop, forcing yourself to keep performing when you've got nothing left to give. Excessive grief and fear deplete your prana really deeply and very specifically. They're not a weakness. Fear and grief, they're not a weakness. They are legitimate. They're powerful experiences that really are asking something of our life force. And yet, if we do not replenish what they are drawn upon or act to shift the behaviors or the trigger of what is creating that, then we feel it in the body as this particular type of hollow restlessness. And the tragedy of modern life is that when prana is depleted, we tend to reach for more stimulation to compensate. More caffeine, more scrolling, more doing, when what prana is genuinely asking for us is the opposite. So restoring prana looks like stillness. It looks like breathing. It's spaciousness. And through choosing even just once in a day to give your attention to one thing and one thing completely, 3 minutes of conscious, slow breathing before you rise out of your bed in the morning, before you pick up your device. It's asking for time in nature, bare feet on the ground if you can manage it. It's asking for warmth, simply prepared food eaten without distraction. It's reducing the number of things that are competing for your attention at one time. Prana, really, it thrives in spaciousness, my loves. It's asking you to slow down before you speed up. It's asking you to receive before you give. And when you do that, when you genuinely create even small pockets of stillness in your life that has not much in it, you'll feel the difference within days. If something is stirred in you, part 2, we're going to go deeper into what Tejas is. And if you feel in your bones that now is your time, you feel the call to rise, the application link is below. I love you, my loves. I'll see you in part 2. Watch this up next.